Bon noir, dear chat. How are you feeling on this finest and indeed darkest of nights? I mean, I would say that it is that, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's a little light where you are. In fact, just looking outside right now, yeah, it's really not that dark because summer kind of ruins the mood of the whole occasion, if you ask me, frankly. But, you know, who cares about that? We can get involved, we can get your head in the right place here, you can immerse yourself in the glory that is the darkest dungeon, because why the hell wouldn't you? It'd be great. Just get yourself in that frame of mind. Someone's feeling sleepy but happy. It's fine, hopefully I'm gonna find a way of gently lulling you off to sleep and some horrendous nightmares. Because we're going to be picking up exactly where we left off. And we're going to see what sort of horror and torture we can subject chat to. Although I'm sorely tempted to enable maybe a couple of mods, like the Raven Fiend skin, which is, well, it's just a mod for the Abomination, makes it look a little bit different, gives it a kind of avian appearance, looks pretty sweet. But this is the one which I'm sort of most interested in playing around with, the Falconer class mod, which is a whole new class, kind of like a buffy, debuffy, sort of very light damage ranger style thing. Looks really fun. And the only reason I picked that up is because I was looking on the workshop and looking through all the new classes, and I was like, they may be mechanically brilliant, but they look absolutely fucking awful. Like, they just look terrible. And this one doesn't. This one actually sort of fits in with, like, the style and the general aesthetics of the entire thing. So perhaps if chat would like, I may very well enable those at some point in the dankest of estates, because who knows, that could be a little bit of fun, right? But for now, I think I'm just gonna pile on in to the vanilla experience as it is right here, but do let me know, chat, if you would like me to start dicking around with some of the mods. I want to obviously check it out on the other game first, because that way it'll just make sure that it's not like some game-breaking thing that doesn't work and then it corrupts the entire thing, but be interesting to try it out. So, A new class means people will have to die to make space for it. Sounds good. Yes, I agree. I agree entirely, chat. Gotta go with that there. All of the murder will happen. I do agree the estate does need a bigger barracks, but we have the biggest barracks that we can possibly have. 28 characters, man, it's nowhere near enough. I wish for more. I wish for so very many more. I might actually just either get a mod for that or just mess around with the INI files and just add it and just be like, we can have 50 people now, it'll be fine, nothing could possibly go wrong. Then we fill out all of the slots and we get the Crimson Curse and it spreads and we have like 30 people with it and we run out of blood and everyone dies. It'll be great. It could be very amusing. So, one thing which I have been sort of generally keeping an eye on are these sorts of things, especially in my other game. And I found that a really useful thing, and it might be something worth rushing here, would be the Sanguine Vintners, because obviously that then gives you a couple of weeks of blood, or a couple of bottles of blood every week, which basically means every time you do a run, you get 2 bottles of blood, which really useful for managing the Crimson Curse later on, which we're not subject to because we haven't gone into the Crimson Courtyard yet. So I think maybe rush that. Like, try and get that online so we can have a nice little stockpile to deal with all of that nonsense a little bit later. Or maybe just go for the bank rush and get all of the gold, because, you know, gold is clearly something that we absolutely need here. We're not absolutely swimming in it at the moment. So, let's see what we've got. We've got a load of dudes dealing with their stress after their horrendous defeat of the Prophet, which I think means we're going to have to go back in all guns blazing on this one. I think we may very well have to deploy the wall, because this guy, man, he went after the wrong team. But we've also, maybe next run, got the potential to unleash the Death Watch. So that could be a pretty funny one. Another thing that I'm considering is just going for a very thematic build of unleashing the power of the Holy Church at people. It wouldn't be a strict gimmick build, because it's not kind of like one of the sort of, oh, we're Red Hook, we don't officially recognize this one. Well, you should, because it is basically all the holy classes together. So you'd have a Crusader, Flagellant, have a Vestal in there as well somewhere. Okay, fine, we'll have a lower level one there. And then you'd grab, where's the other one? Where is the other one? And then you grab the Leper as well, so you probably have something like that, and then a Leper in position 1 or position 2. So that could be a fun one to deploy. It's a very, very holy party. It's really rather amusing like that. Yes, the Collector did fuck the last run beyond repair, because, yes, it really did. It kind of just messed everything up a little bit. It resulted in us spending just too goddamn much time with that, expending too many resources on that, and then there was a super duper loot whore room, which, me being a complete loot whore, I had to walk back by like a couple of rooms to go and get, and then we ran out of food and we had to take the damage and the stress from that. That entire run was just a series of very unfortunate events that royally screwed us over. So that was a thing. It's just, nah. Yeah, it was not good. So I'm thinking, I think we might just have to go after the piggies. Let's go after the little piggies. I don't think, we could deploy the wall, but I'm sorry, chat, I'm doing this. I want to do my 3 Abomination run. I want to prove to the world that the triple Abomination play actually works, and maybe later we can get ourselves a Houndmaster for position 4, and then play the proper... I don't even know what the actual name of the gimmick is for it. Actually, there is another little gimmick build, which actually has a name. I believe... Oh, I thought it was a Hellion and 3 Abominate... Oh no, it was a Hellion and 3 Houndmasters. I was thinking there was a one themed around Cerberus, because, you know, 3-headed dogs and 3 dogs and stuff, so... Yeah, no, it was Houndmasters, not Abominations. But I am definitely thinking that we should do this. Where is our occultist? I want to give this a go, because I think it'll be rather amusing. And obviously the really cool thing about this is this boss over Nya takes up all 4 ranks of the enemy thing. They do shapeshift, but they all share one big health bar. So these guys will just rake and rake and rake and rake, and, you know, that'll be it. It'll all be over. As long as they haven't gone completely and utterly insane by the time they get there. But they've got stress management abilities, so we should be okay. Maybe. And we've got something there to prevent our nighttime ambushes as well, so that's great. Of course it does add stress, but hey, that's fine. 4 level 1 abominations into the darkest dungeons. I'm sure that'll go fine. There is an achievement for sending 4 level 1s into the darkest dungeon. It's called Lambs to the Slaughter, so, I mean, that should probably tell you something. Or, you know, literally everything that you need to know, right? Not a good idea. Probably won't be doing that. So Vulnerability Hex could be nice for the minus dodge. Can't have Sacrificial Stab there, so I'm thinking either Hands from the Abyss or the Pull. I think the Pull, maybe to clear the corpses, but I do enjoy the stun, but he can only use that in position 1 and 2 there. So I think this is a good back line up for the Occultist there, and these guys, they're just going to go in as they are. They don't need shit. They're abominations. They're super duper crazy strong, yo. So let's sort them by activity and make sure everyone is up to date with their things. So they've all got the appropriate levels of gear. And let's check that they've all got the correct levels of abilities. Oh my, that's going to be one problem with abominations. Pretty expensive to level up like that. And what did we pick for him? The pull. So, yeah, I think we want to up that. What is the difference for it? Just changes the accuracy base and a little bit more crit chance. So, yeah, we'll go with that. It's only 200 gold, and let's be honest, we're swimming in it. So, I have a feeling that this might go one of two ways, and it's kind of the only two ways that this game ever goes. Really, really well, or really absolutely terribly badly, and you just end up hating your life, and that's pretty much it. So 15% healing skills for our cultist, because he kind of is our healer for this. That's tempting. That would be a lot of healing right there, so just got to keep in mind his stress levels, but that's pretty good. Of course, we could give him the snake oil and remove that charm there, so that would just be 30% healing with only 10% bonus stress. Or we just go for the super duper crazy OP 45% bonus healing. I like the super duper crazy 45% bonus healing. That's just, you gotta play life on the edge here, you know? Of course, we need an abomination to have slightly more virtue chance, because it'll be awful if it all goes wrong. So now we just need to kit them out with some other things. Let's see what we've got here. So front position is going to be morphing probably every fight, which if that's the case, we should probably swap the front one out for someone with lower stress, because they get more stressed when they morph, I believe, than they cause to the party. I think. I can't remember. Let's even see, does it say? So morph self change to beast mode +2 speed, other heroes +8 stress. I swear they get stressed themselves when they morph as well. And I swear it's by more than 8, but who knows? I have been known to be wrong about things like that before, because derp, I understand. Like game mechanics and shit. Okay, one of the ones at the back, we definitely want to have a stun skill extra chance, because we're going to be whipping them chains and all that good stuff. I think -10 stress for our already slightly stressed one. We need to keep their stress under control, because you don't really want super crazy monsters going everywhere. I don't really want to overburden them with trinkets, because, you know, the collector and all of that stuff. I'm okay with that, I think. Let's go with that. Let's murder some piggies. We're gonna send the wolves after the pigs. Seems quite thematic, so let's go with it. Stack up on that food, give us them torches, usual thing, couple of keys, couple of shovels, couple of holy water. We're in the Warrens, so gonna need a couple of medicinal herbs, because all of the food tables and stuff that we're probably not gonna need if we've got 12 food, but it's nice anyway. Anything else that we actually need here? Yeah, probably. Trying to think of the sorts of things that the other dudes, the boss does. I'm pretty sure the boss does actually do a blight attack. Pretty sure it does. So we'll go with a couple of anti-venom, but I think that's probably all we're gonna need. So let's roll, chat. Let's roll.
My zeal for blood rituals and summoning rites had begun to ebb, as each attempt invariably brought only failure and disappointment. Progress was halting, and the rapidly accumulating surplus of wasted flesh had become burdensome. The thing is more terrible than I can describe.
Alright, so willing to bet once again, probably one of the corners, probably that one, because it's the furthest one away, so let's see if that continuous string of logic fails us once again. This stuff, moonshine barrel, pretty sure that was either herbs or holy water. Can't remember which. Okay, herbs. I have learned today, now you are buffed. Extra damage until camping. Who knows, maybe we won't even have to camp if we get over there without too many problems. Yeah, so either way you're going to be encountering one thing. That way would yield us more curios, though. But I'm just going to head this way, see if we get to the boss, and then we might camp after the boss, if necessary, and clear out the rest of the everything. Do it for the loot, chat. We've got to do it for the loot.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
What's up, dudes? How you feeling? Get wrecked. You know, one thing which I frankly do not understand lore perspective-wise about this game. Mentioned it before in some other streams, but always something interesting to consider. The holy people, you know, all those churchy people and like that not, they really have a problem being fielded with abominations because they see them as being these weird, unholy, terrible, literally the worst thing ever. How could you even consider such a thing? And yet they'll quite happily go in with occultists. You know, the dude who is carrying around the polished skull of some dead guy and summons interdimensional tentacles out of portals to murder things. I mean, that's a level of heresy and occultism that we're on board with, but, you know, a shapeshifter, we draw the line at that for some reason, because why the hell wouldn't you? It's just, you know, reasons. That is the only thing that I can think of is their explanation, is just because reasons. Because I don't think they've got a really good reason for hanging out with occultists. I think, you know, if you want a little more consistency, it should probably be abominations and occultists that they don't really want to hang around with. Would seem more thematical, more consistent. But then that would really mess up your ability to form parties, because you'd basically be limited to using Vestals as healers with holy people. So in essence, you'd then end up basically playing effectively two versions of the game. You could have like the holy thing, and they'd be their own thing, and all the sort of evil, sinful non-believers who would basically have to be their other party. So it would be more like them picking between two factions. I don't think we really need more food, so we can ignore that. You're hungry already, guys? My god, what's wrong with you? Come on, Siegfried. We don't need you doing that. See, now you're... Oh, you actually resisted it. But next time, you won't be so lucky. Murder a few more piggies. If I can explain that, I've explained feminism and Islam. I fail to see really the connection here. I suppose because the occultists are the exact opposite of the things that they should be doing, but yeah, I don't think I can explain it. It's just, for some reason, you have to accept it. Someone seems to think it might have something to do with some of the barks that the Abomination have about them maybe not being able to fully control themselves when they're in that thing. It's, okay, well, how much control do you exactly think that the occultist has over its weird-ass tentacle things from outer space? I mean, is he really fully controlling these tentacles, or does he just open a portal and kind of, you know, hope for the best? It's like, I opened the portal over there, the closest thing to the evil tentacle monster is things that I don't mind being destroyed, so they kind of like just rely on, I don't know, geographical proximity and convenience for them targeting maybe the right thing. So, again, just interesting shit to consider from the standpoint of just general... It's like, look, if you're going to be a bigot about things, I want you to at least be consistent in your bigotry. I don't think that's that hard. I don't think that's too high of a bar to set, frankly.
Diminished.
Okay, let's whip him around a little bit, give him some stuns, all that good stuff. You should probably do your thing so you get to lower your stress a tiny bit before we go on. whip it. Whip it real good. Boop, ba-doo, boop, 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 ba-doo-doo-doo. That's the closest you're ever going to get to me singing on a stream. Just so you know. Camp? We don't need to camp, chat. We can totally just pile on into the boss like this. We are a bunch of absolute bouses at this point. You know, the boss needs to camp before meeting this party, am I right? Although the odds are we probably will camp because we want to buff everyone up beforehand, just to make it a little bit easier. But frankly, I think 3 abominations just going ham is just going to melt this thing. Chat would like to place their bests. Will Lewis murder his brother? Potentially. Or you never know, I might murder Lewis's brother because we do have the potential for a rename there. Boss is there? Yeah, of course the boss is there. Alright, let's grab ourselves some buffs and then we'll go in and just melt the dude. Might as well probably feast. Get the stress reduction, because we don't need stress going into this. It shouldn't be too long of a fight, but probably worth dealing with. Okay, psych yourself up, 25 damage. Yes, that seems really useful. Well, I think we're going to have a pair of these guys just psych themselves up. One guy give us the quickening, and then unspeakable commune just to get rid of night ambush potential. That works out mathematically. Kind of. Yeah, I think I'd rather actually have 2 psyched up ones than some guy just with a little bit of extra speed. Speed is nice, but 25% bonus damage. I mean, on 2 of them, that's just crazy. Let's go with that. That's why we had the feast, to deal with all of the other problems. No one has an ability that... Oh, you do have an ability that costs 1. Why on earth would I want to do that? That seems like a really bad idea. Let's not stress out the abominations anymore, shall we? Chat is in fact entirely correct. Lewis and Lewis's brother, they do go into the brothel side by side, so probably won't be murdering each other there. Yeah, they have seen literally everything about each other, so I think it's pretty safe to say that they are relatively close. Relatively. Get it? You see what I did there? Because the brothel jokes and their relatives and relatively, yeah. Fine, screw you. Why do I even bother trying to make these jokes? Never get the appreciation that they deserve. Aight. Let's have all of the mutations and just murder this guy. He's just gonna melt. And again, chat is bringing up a very good point, and it's something which I've mentioned before when we talk about the various problems with the abominations. One abomination transforming stresses the other ones out, even though they all do it. But then last time we spoke about this, chat came up with another interesting hypothesis for this, that maybe they are stressed out because they might have some sort of... like they... What was the phrase that you used, chat? Something like a sympathy mutation or something like that? So, who knows, there might actually be an explanation for why that happens, because they're just like, oh man, seeing you do that, you know, you don't make me have one as well. I think this thing's just gonna melt next turn. Just... We've completely wrecked it already. It has so little health left. It's kind of annoying that they're attacking in this order. It means we're getting stuck with slams, 2 slams rather than a pair of rakes. I would rather have the rakes. Yeah, that's got the least prop. Sympathetic metamorphosis. There you go. That was the phrase. That's why other abominations get stressed. Could you maybe, like, not have the blight thing and all that? And try to not heal yourself for 0, Siegfried. See? Maximum heal. All it takes, just give them a little bit of a dressing down beforehand, and then they'll perform really, really well. I am the best manager and team motivator that this party could ever have. Just brilliant like that. It's great. Oh, you see, now you're attacking in the appropriate order. All of the rakes. Let's go. Unfortunately, these are all things which have relatively high prot, so that kind of sucks. But now the guy at the front has got his damage up really, really high. Look at that. Bonus 51% damage, all from raking. That is amazing. You're in a position where you can actually just artillery them from there. Go for it. Give us a little bit of extra deeps. Wow, that was a hell of a hit. That was a hell of a miss. Sorry, Darmstadty, everyone just doesn't like you. Oh, this is so good. These things have, like, no prot. They're gonna take so much damage. Look at that. That was the wrong mutation, guys. Ah, we will take all of that.
They can be beaten.
No, we're totally gonna keep adventuring now, because why wouldn't we? Might as well go on and get some of these other curios here. Clear the place out a little bit, get a little bit more loot. We don't have bandages for that. Oh well. Or that, there we go. We've got 2 things that we just don't have bandages for. Chat is entirely correct. The boss did just suicide. So if we go that way, we get a battle and that. That's just a battle room. There's no curio in there. I would rather have 2 battles with a curio. Well, either way, it would be 2 battles with a curio, I suppose. But this way leads us to many other curios. We'll go like that. Little S-shaped nya, like that. Okay, mutate. It's fine, we'll have the other guys do their stress management thing shortly, so it'll be fine. It is correct, chat. Yes, they do lose stress when they revert back to their human form, but the problem is the stress that they get from the reversion is not comparable to how much it costs in order to go to beast form, so it's kind of... it's not a good return. Chill out, Broseph. Yeah, you definitely need to get your stress down a little bit. Other dude might be free to whip some things or give them the... what would that do? 3 damage? That wouldn't cause him to blight out. But we can just whip him with the chain and kill him. I like when enemies do AoE attacks like that and we have a man-at-arms. Or more correctly, when you have like 2 men-at-arms in the party, or 3, and they've all got riposte. Just any sort of attack like that basically just ends up killing whoever uses them. It's really rather funny. You de-stress yourself a little bit. There you go. Easy game. Now whip it real good. Pretty good whipping. Siegfried is getting all the heals today. He's actually not being totally awful at his job. It's really rather quite the thing. You might as well heal, because why not? Beastie can just clear out some corpses. Get rid of that corpse, and then that guy will move forward. And you can kill him next turn. Or we can artillery him. And leave 1 HP left, because of course that's how it works. Really, Lewis? Really? Really, Siegfried? My god, it's almost like you guys want to lose. You know, I should just turn this party around right now, because you're just misbehaving and being awful. Unfortunately, my loot whore sense is far too strong, so we're not going to be doing that. Yeah, okay, you guys can do all of your things, now let us respond in kind. You're all about to die. Horribly. Little piggies are about to get eaten by the big bad wolfies.
Devastating blow.
If you would like to print the slogan, "My loot whore senses are far too strong," on a t-shirt, you go ahead and do that. There are many catchphrases which have been, well, not necessarily catchphrases, but just generally amusing phrases which have been generated over the years of all of my channels. If you would like to stick any of them on t-shirts or any sort of reference like that, you go ahead and do that, because I'm sure as hell not gonna. I just don't care enough to actually bother trying to do that. We need the busts. They are useful.
Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Yeah, I'm not sure what to get rid of. Maybe just the anti-venom. Because busts are useful.
A handsome reward.
Oh my god, okay, I could probably just end the run here so we wouldn't need food then. Let's do that. And then we'll drop. I never really use either of these trinkets, so probably that. But I suppose for the sake of trying to get the most gold out of things, it would have to be drop the holy water, because that's only 15 gold return that we get when we get back. Alright. No, not the torches, because you sell them back, you get gold.
A fresh irritant to some. A sanguine memory to me.
Alright, let's see what happened. Alright. Mithrin is apparently strong and powerful after whipping himself repeatedly. It's just two things that he's got going on now. He's got plus 40 damage for some reason. Not quite sure where that goes. It's not a quirk, it's not a thing, but it's a thing that he has. So, yes. Other than that, minus stress and not abusive anymore, minus stress and not a masochist anymore. Okay, pretty good. Pretty good. So, let's see what the stagecoach has brought for us. There's still no Houndmasters. Game does not want to give me Houndmasters. I could just increase the stagecoach network. That would give us access to more variety of character. But I kind of want to be saving up, maybe for a Bank or the Vintner. I suppose they don't, what do they cost? Portraits and busts. This is not portraits or busts, this is deeds. But deeds could be better spent on things like blacksmithery. Because blacksmithery. And guild is portraits, I think. Yeah. But there could be better uses for all of our money. Those things are all just slots, so don't really need those as of yet. what we do need to do... He has just instantly removed himself from the party without permission. Because, of course. We need to go and deal with their stress, though. Probably send them into the tavern. Well, Lewis and your brother, you both know exactly where you're going. It's the same place you always go. And we'll give you some... We'll give you some slightly better whores.
Maybe they can be inured against the horrors below.
So there you go. Have fun. Have fun, gentlemen. You can go and get absolutely hammered. There you go. 3 abominations walk into a bar. Because, you know, it's all in one building, so they all walk into the bar, you know, beforehand. Yeah? It's like the setup for the worst joke ever. One of the worst, darkest dungeon jokes ever, certainly. Gotta deal with Siegfried. In town, will never drink. Okay, well that's fine. You can go to the Abbey then. Go and meditate or something. Kolnick's II kind of also needs to go through a bit more stress relief, because, I mean, 50 stress, that's a lot to enter a dungeon with. But equally, I want to do a Death Watch run. What I could just do is do a Deus Vault run first, because everyone loves a good Deus Vault run. Oh god, what is your thing? You won't pray or flagellate, so you'll only go to one of the tavern activities. Okay, we'll buy you a bar slot. There you go, I have bought you a bar stool. God, so demanding, all of you, I swear. You guys are like the most high maintenance party that I've ever had. Just awful. Alright. Do we have any outstanding diseases that we can get rid of? Yes. Get rid of that, because accuracy. Anyone else got anything particularly outstanding? Drake and Sunbro. Probably deal with Sunbro's health problems. Minus 20% HP is a thing. We could upgrade all that, but like I said, I kind of want to hold on to busts. Because vintners. We want to definitely get that up and running and pumping out as soon as possible, so we have a nice stockpile in reserve to deal with the upcoming everything. Alright, we have a siren to kill, we have a wizened hag to kill, we have a prophet to kill. I kinda want some revenge. I wish for some vengeance upon that prophet. He made an absolute mockery of our last party, and I do not approve of this. What are we going to send? Okay, so we do need a fair old amount of healing down, because of the whole, I'm going to drop the roof on you. So I think a Vestal, and actually maybe a rank 3... Maybe a rank 3 Flagellant might be on the cards. I have to teach him a couple of abilities, but that might not be the worst idea ever. Vestal can still nuke, basically, from the back ranks, can still use the Judgment and Illumination and all of that stuff, or Dazzling Light even, but the stun probably won't do anything, but you can still use Judgment for nukes on him, so if we're going to do that, then we want a couple of really big hitters up at the front to take out all of the barricades. Just mow them down. I think a Crusader and a Leper will make some pretty short work of that. Or what we could do, as chat is pointing out, is take a man-at-arms. Do a position 3 man-at-arms. So you can do Defender, Retribution, and that. Bolster, which will give everyone in the party dodge and speed, which will kind of make the prophet just not hit anything, hopefully, which would be good. And of course you've got the whole retribution thing as well, which could work very nicely. But equally, I do kind of like the idea of having the HOTS, you know, that heal over time, just rolling on the entire party to basically stop them from going to death's door, or to pull them back if that happens after having the roof implode on them. So, a lot of things. There's a lot of potential. You also have a Hellion available, who also... what is their damage like compared to a... not as good. Simply, just not as good. Yes, okay. So, I think... minus stun resist could be good. Now, I think I would prefer a Crusader there. Of course, with the Iron Swan abilities, you can start swinging at him from when the fight begins. So there are other things that we could do. We could do Hellion there, position 2, this guy, because that way he'll get Exsanguinate and still have this heal, which is kind of what we, you know, really want. But then also be able to just smack bleeds on the Prophet immediately, and also start damage down the barricades that he's hanging out behind. So that's got some potential, because there's still healing potential there. I suppose if we really wanted to, we could then have a position 3 Arbalast, maybe? Or a position 3 Man-at-Arms for buffs. Position 3 Plague Doctor. Throw the Plague Grenades at the Prophet at the back. Sort of start trying to roll some damage over time spells on him from the beginning. There's a lot of potential here. So, if we do this and we have the Iron Swan ability, we'll be able to start opening up on the Prophet immediately, but that then means that we're not going to be taking out barricades. Because then you'd probably have this guy spamming bleeds onto position 4, which is really not ideal, so maybe have him bust down the first one, so we can then use Punish, which is a lot more damage than Reign of Sorrows. But then that precludes Wicked Hack as a thing, but you could then use If It Bleeds, because the Prophet would then be in rank 3. So we could stack up a lot of bleeds, and try and just burst him down that way. So that could be fun. And then we have this thing with... Oh, I can't target Incision from there, but you can still get Plague Grenades. So we could take the guy down with an absolute shit ton of dots, and this way we actually have the potential for a lot of healing on the team, actually. There's no way he'll be stunnable, so get Battlefield Medicine, just in case we need a little bit of extra healing, like that. Get Emboldening Vapors for improving the damage, have an AoE heal. Yeah, this team could work out fine. Alright, let's sort out their abilities and stuff. Look, chat, stop with the backseat gaming of I need this ability, this need this ability. I know what they need. I just have to sort out the strategies and whatnot first, then we deal with all of that shit after. Don't know if you've noticed, but that's the order that we do things. Because it's a lot easier that way. Because then you don't waste a shitload of your time and money sorting out all of this stuff when you don't need to, or wasting it on a bunch of other shit. So get all of that in. Angina's absolutely fine. Yep, strength, heal for himself and someone else. Heal for himself and damage, which won't be useful if it goes to position 1 or 2. Punish, that's fine. Reign of Sorrows, that's fine. Plague Director. The Director. Okay, so Disorientating Blast won't be any use because the guy will have massive stun resist because it's a boss. Plague Grenade, yes. Do we really want Incision? Could be useful if the boss moves forward. If we end up actually having to just bust down all of the things and tackle him in rank 1. But I can't imagine why we would do that when we can just do all of the damage to him in rank 3. But if, hypothetically, we don't take Incision, what else would there be? Plague Grenades? I suppose maybe just Noxious Blast, so if we do end up moving him forward we can just poison. Yeah, because Noxious Blast still works from on position 1 and 2 from there. Rather than Incision. And that would then cover all the positions between just them. Which means, if we do that... So we take Noxious Blast, upgrade them both. Drop Incision, put that in there. And then we pick up Emboldening Vapours, which is going to be really, really useful for our Flagellant and Hellion. In fact, stacking that up with the Hellion buff, that would be pretty crazy. So we can remove Blinding Gas, because that won't be really useful against the boss. Battlefield Medicine, on the other hand, that will be, potentially, because it is an extra heal. It's a really shit heal, but it is still a heal. So... I'm thinking that might be the way of going about it. Let's do that. Battlefield Medicine. I'll take that and that. Boom ba boom. Simple. Easy. And then we want to grab our Vestal. We're going to need the AoE heal. Yes, we are. No Illumination, because, well, you're in rank 4, it's useless for you. That's going to be useful for nuking anyway, that's going to be useful just throughout the dungeon, not so much against the boss. Big nuke heal, big AoE heal. Or pretty shit AoE heal, actually, but AoE heal nonetheless. Alright. You don't need Breakthrough, you need Iron Swan. So that can be used when he's on rank 4 to start with, or maybe we could just use Wicked Hack, bust down the first obstacle entirely, and then just go instantly to spamming that, because as soon as we get him to position 3 quicker, that's where we actually put him in optimal damage range, because that means you get Bleed, or you get, what is it, if it bleeds you get Punish, and you also get Plague Grenades as well. So getting him to position 3 is the optimal play. So if that's the case, then using Iron Swan in like the first position is actually meh, frankly, because position 3 seems to be the optimum point for damage. So yeah, let's go with that. So that'll deal with all the healing we need, that'll deal with healing and the annoying things that give you a little proc of death when you're on death's door. And this is big heal for himself, if low, and loads of extra damage to the guy, but only in position 1 or 2, so he'd have to hit a barricade. That's not the end of the world. But also that, which is just big heal to himself and someone else. Okay, this is cool. I'm down with that. I'm down. Down like something that is down. Bleed skill chance? Yep. we need you to make the dude bleed. 20% bleed skill chance minus healing skill. I'm not sure if I want to go with minus healing skill. That seems like it could be a really bad idea. Yeah, let's not do that, because I do kind of need that guy to actually be able to heal things. Plague Doctor, you're not incising anything, you're probably not going to encounter that many diseases, so kind of yeah. Vestal, no, we don't want to lower your maximum HP, we want to keep it as high as possible so you don't fucking die. Plus 10% Blight skill chance, that will be useful on our Plague Doctor, who will be doing the blighting. It's organised by class restriction, that'll make more sense. Actually, that will be very useful on this guy. As will that. Give him a lot of HP, because that means the 50% mark is higher than if he's got lower HP. So that means it's safer to take him lower in order to use his 50% things. Alright, let's go with that. Vestal needs things. Kind of slow, maybe give you a speed stone to deal with that. Tempted to give Prot, actually. I've just noticed a load of our other guys still have trinkets on them. So big max HP on that. Plus healing skills, because of course, minus stress. Very tempted to put Prot on that, but minus 20 stress seems like a really sort of bad idea. That gets mitigated down to 10, so that's not the end of the world. Hellion, you definitely need extra bleed skill chance, because you're going to be using the bleeds. I could give our Plague Doctor plus 15% healing skills, you know, because I'm sure that's going to be really useful. You know, on that amazing 1 HP heal thing. Yes. I think we might be okay with that, actually. Very tempted to give someone plus prot, but just all of that extra stress doesn't seem like a really good idea, because we know that he's got plus 10 prot anyway. That I might actually lock that in as one of his things, because you kind of want to be getting fanatic flagellants down to like 50% or less HP, so that's when they actually start being able to use the really cool stuff. Alright, let's go for it. We shall take our... This is the run, which, perhaps unsurprisingly, is the one which has given this stream its name. This is our The Revengeancing. We're gonna take this guy down. Double check abilities, because of course. Alright. Pretty good, and we've got Sanctuary for when we camp. Excellent. Food. Torches, every single one, because I forget otherwise. Shovel, key, what is this? Ruins, holy water, gotta have holy water, always gotta have holy water. It is literally the light of the Emperor in a bottle. Trying to think what there is going to be around. Can't really remember what there is loot-wise around here. We'll just take a little bit of everything, because I really can't remember. Just sometimes I do remember, and sometimes I don't remember what there is in the specific places. But we'll take a little bit of everything. It's a medium, so maybe take an extra key and an extra shovel. Yeah, let's go with that.
Excavations
Inbound collector again in the first hallway.
When a particularly
Probably.
ragged indigent arrived in the hamlet. This filthy, toothless miscreant boasted an uncanny knowledge of my ambitions, and prognosticated publicly that, left unchecked...
Yes, it is true, chat. Once you play this game, you will spend a lot more time... You'll spend a lot more time in town than you think you will.
The echoes of his mindless
Okay.
tearing reverberate
Profit's
madly.
over there, because it's the furthest one away. Or maybe there. Maybe it's going to try and trick me, because it's that one. Who knows? If the guy is in there and not there, it will be the very first time that my formula has failed. One thing which I wish this game would do on the UI is... I know that your abilities go into this bar in the order that you select them from the thing, but I really wish it defaulted to left to right, like the same order that it is when you're picking them on the screen up there. Because it's like a little half second of where, what? Why is that not highlighted? Because you're so used to it being in another position. Like, the most minor thing imaginable. It's like, here I expect Noxious Blast to be here, a Plague Grenade to be here, because it's normally that way around. But this is the order I dialed them in, so this is the order they're at in the UI now. It's just that moment of, huh?
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
Easy round. And I got to have a little bit of my gripe about the UI put out there, so that's nice. It's a very, very minor quirk of how the UI in this game works, but I just... It's just that little thing that's just such a minor annoyance. But it kind of messes you up a little bit. For that one little second, you're like, huh? It's really good that this game is, like, turn-based, because otherwise that could actually be, like, fucking disastrous otherwise. Like, again, Flagellant here, I expect Punish to be there, Reign of Sorrows to be there, and then Exsanguinate and Redeem there. Because that's the order it is on most of my other Flagellants in the other game, because this is the order I dialed them in is. That's what it is now. Again, really, really mild annoyance, but I just think from that UI design perspective, would have been much better if it dialed them in left to right. Such a first world problem. My UI is not as efficient as it could be. Woe is me. First world gamer problems, yo.
Executed with impunity.
Give the guy the whips. And give him the diseases. Now, do I want to give him the stun? Or do I want to just give him the nuke? I reckon you can do 7 damage.
Continue the onslaught.
Look at that.
Destroy
Perfect.
them all.
I had a little bit of faith, chat, and it paid off. It's what this game is all about. Sometimes you just gotta pray to RN Jesus. Definitely we're gonna be launching some stuns here. Absolutely. It's kind of annoying, they're all skeletons. Flagellant doesn't get to bleed anything. Or Flagellant. Not living up to his potential.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Give them some more disease over at the back there. Which, if you think about it, is actually kind of horrifying as to what Blight is. Because Blight, you would have thought, oh, you know, it's a poison, obviously. It's a Blight, so it's a poisonous thing. No, it affects skeletons, so what Blight actually must be then is some sort of really fast-acting, rotting bone disease or joint disease or something like that, in order for it to affect skeletons. Which then makes it all the more terrifying as to what it could actually be.
Give them no quarter.
Think about that from a medical perspective for a moment. I'm not going to use a key on this because it's an unlocked strongbox. I learned from that mistake last time. Or did I? Not that I've made that same mistake several times now. Not at all. No way. Okay. Oh, come on. Well, we know what I must do. Loot whore mode activate. Ah. Oh. This is an interesting thing about this game and these trinkets. You get Dismas's head, and Dismas is obviously our first the first highwayman that you get. We ended up naming ours Josh, and Josh was just useless. Just absolutely awful. So what a surprise that his head would show up in a bag. Yes, Josh died because he was that awful. Just at everything. But I've always wondered, like, there should probably be maybe some sort of interesting ultra rare bark from the character when you equip their own head. We could take on the Void Walker team. We could do that. We could so do that. I'm not going to do that. Can't remember if this is a buff or if this is stress relief. Let's see. You get buffed until you camp, which is going to be like not very long away. The buff will last for precisely 2 fights. Yay. No, we're not doing the Void Walker team, we're here for revenge.
Eradicated.
When you are on the course for vengeance, do not deviate from the course of vengeance. It's very important that you learn that, chat. Once we have killed the Prophet, then we can go back and deal with the Void Walker, but this is all about the Revengeancing. You know, the Revengeancing, that's what this is. So we've got to make sure that our revenge is sated before we go any further with anything else like that. Gotta get your priorities in order, chat. Do you think that guy might blight out and die this turn? Yeah, I think he might.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Just give everyone a little heal, because that thing's gonna die. There you go.
Is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Ooh, and we have a flagellant thing. That's a really useful flagellant thing, actually. Maybe I should give the flagellant things to something else. Time to juggle some inventory, I guess. There we go. Don't really give that much of a shit about all of that stuff. Suit of armor. I don't think that actually does anything if you... like, nothing bad. Let's see. Hey! You have so many good things. They're all gonna go away when we camp. I would really rather that didn't happen.
Back to the pit. Another one falls. A death by inches.
Indeed. Now you are going to be nibbled. Truly the most horrifying of attacks there. Dude, it was a nibble. Get over yourself, it wasn't that bad. Fuck's sake.
The enemy crumbles.
I got nibbled. No, my life is at an end. No, it isn't. Suck it up, get over it.
Nonetheless.
I do very much want the busts. I will commit the heresy and leave the holy water behind. Alright, time to camp and lose all of these glorious buffs. I mean, look at that. Oh, so many good buffs. But we can do better for the entirety of the team, so let's do that. And we really don't actually need to eat that much, just minimal here. Okay, Sanctuary is basically a must here, so let's do that. Because fuck your nighttime ambushes. This is where I find they don't really have any... Yes, we can stress you out some more so that you... Actually, that's not so bad here. Plus 40 stress, because then he would get all of the damage bonuses and whatnot. Well, Battle Trance is basically a must here, because all of that stuff for position 1, accuracy and damage, you're not going to be leaving position 1, so yes, do that. It might actually not be the stupidest thing in the world to give that guy plus 40 stress, because he'll get that secret little flagellant buff going, so he gets extra crit chance and all that stuff. But then the Prophet, I think, is gonna stress everyone out anyway, so I'm not sure if I want to take that risk. Well, accuracy, we need to at least bless someone here. It's probably going to be the Hellion, actually, or maybe the... We'll spread the... We're not going to stick all our eggs in one basket here, so... do that. I suppose that'll be useful, actually, if the Flagellant does get really, really stressed, because he will lose his dodge ability, and this will make up for that, so that could be helpful. Do I want to stress him out, so that he gets the extra damage and speed buffs? I'm really tempted to, but I'm also concerned that he might just... I suppose it's not the end of the world if he goes full Rapturous, though, because then he will really be swinging hard, and fast as well, but he will gain all of those unfortunate chances to swing at people on our team, because the penance and... yeah. We'll try it. We'll go with it. It is only 40 after all, and he was on, like, 4, so let's go with it. Increase his deeps, because this round is all about the deeps. Okay, let's see if my hypothesis is correct. This room, furthest from the entrance, is going to contain the boss. And clearly there's just 2 skeletons here to annoy me or something. I'm not sure why they're here. To be a mild irritation.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Yes, Mangina does sit with his back turned to the fire. It's not because he's a retard, it's because he is a self-hating, straight-white male, as are all of the flagellants, except the ones who are not white. But they are all very, very self-hating like that, you know, and they will refuse to allow themselves any sort of comfort because they live for the suffering.
The madman hides there.
So they will even turn away from the comfort of a warm fire.
Mindless drivel.
Alright. Let's bust down this first pew so we get this guy into the optimum position 3. I would laugh so hard if you could blight the benches. That it would just be so absurd, but equally so hilarious. Front pew needs to go down, so he goes to position 3. That is our optimum deeps position. There we go. Hey buddy, you're now in the optimum place to receive all of the murder. I hope you enjoy it. You didn't go below 50%, Mangina, you failed. You had one job. It's okay, he's got a blight, he'll go down next turn and it'll be fine. Here in the judgment, heal yourself back up. You'll be okay. And Now we just stack bleeds and blights until he dies. In fact, we're gonna have an adrenaline rush here as well, so we do extra damage. Ah, your wounds aren't mounting, you're absolutely fine.
A hand's breadth from becoming unwound.
It's okay, bunny. You're gonna live. Oh, come on. Yes. Put Mangina on low health. He loves it. Because he gets to do things like that. It's great. And now we're going to stack even more bleeds on top of this guy. You might as well just give him the judgment. You'll get your health back eventually. Drop some rubble on Mangina so he can use his awesome abilities. Ah, it's so good. That's why I gave him the bonus health abilities. Or the bonus health things. Pity he can't use Exsanguinate, but... this 2-character heal, man, it's so strong.
Diminished.
Just because of that, I've actually really quite enjoyed putting Flagellants as position 3 and 4. I've actually really enjoyed it the few times which I've tried it. You get to roll heals all over the entire party, like, in preparation for any sort of damage. Take all the bleeds and blights onto yourself, so you're constantly below the 50% threshold, and then you just nuke heal everything. It's so good. How'd you feel about that, Prophet Boy? I don't think anything's going to happen. I think we're going to kill him before that happens. Look at these dots. There are so many of them. See, this is how easy this fight should have been for, like, the previous party, but the thing is it wasn't, because, well, we wasted so much stuff, went in without all of the food, and it was a disaster. This is how easy that fight should have been.
I care not.
But this is what happens when you actually formulate a kind of proper party for it. I want all of this stuff. Who has inventory space? You have inventory space. Take the thing. What costs... what is the least amount of money that we can get rid of? 15 gold each. Yeah, we can swap that out for something that costs that much, and then that would be 30. That would also be 30. That's 50, so we're not going to get rid of that. That's 60, we're not going to get rid of that. That's 40, so it's one of the things that costs 30, and I think I would rather have a health stone, another health stone available. Alright. Easy. Easy game. Easy life. Look at that, chat. Alright. Extra damage. Oh no. Our Witch Doctor sucks a little bit more at melee skills. Whatever shall we do? Like it fucking matters. Although I do quite enjoy having a melee swinging Plague Doctor. It's pretty good, actually. You can really stack up just extra bleeds, just if you want to do a full crazy bleed party. Still no Houndmasters. Still no Hound. This game does not want to give us a Houndmaster, so we can play the crazy maximum bleed things. We've got 60 busts though. So that means we could actually do our... oh no, it's 80 for the Vintners. Dear. I'm good at remembering things, me. I could actually just trade in some crests for it. And just get it and get that thing rolling right there. That's changed. I swear that wasn't like that in the last game that I played. Like my other one. Maybe it's been patched in or something. I don't remember that being plus 15% healing. I remember it doing food for free, but I don't remember it being 15% healing when eating. I wonder when that was put in. Was it done, like, yesterday? I don't know, very possibly. Or it's been there for weeks and I just haven't actually noticed. I wonder if any of these things are particularly useful. So I don't think it's really worth rushing any of these. I think the only two that it's really worth trying to get quickly is the Vintners and the Bank. Bank is just so good, actually, because you never run out of gold when you've got it. It's actually quite good. It can kind of make antiquarians more or less redundant, actually. Especially once you... because obviously it's interest on what you've got banked, so it multiplies up by so much eventually. It's actually a little bit absurd. Surely sort out some people of stress. Like all 3 people who are barely stressed. No. God damn it. Just you, old guy, get out. Oh, I guess we can get a slot.
Hope, however desperate, is never
Bunny go
worth.
pray. Phoenix. We really need to sort out your kleptomania. Mangina, well, obviously you need to go and whip yourself, because of course you do. It's just your thing. I think I might actually just send our dear shaman to go and get his disease dealt with. His stress will come down anyway, so it'll be fine. We deal with just a load of these other diseases, actually just try and stay on top of them. Because they're not helpful. I should really just, like, open up a load of slots, I suppose, so we can actually just really spam this stuff and make it a lot cheaper to deal with. Someone had a quirk which I wanted to deal with. That was Mangina, wasn't it? To lock in his hard skin. Because it's, like, just so damn good. See if there is anything which I really want to lock in while I'm here. Those could be good. Well, I've got to admit, I'm much more a fan of things that keep people alive. While increases in damage are kinda nice, I think I lean more towards Prot and... what was the other one? Like, Prot and Stun Resist. They just seem to be the more useful ones for the sake of consistency. And then you can, like, lock in one thing for some sort of damage. General damage, I think, seems to be better than more specific damage lock-in. And Kolnix has just decided to fuck off for a week, so we can't actually deploy the Deathwatch squad. Because Kolnix decided that he should take a fucking holiday or some shit. We could do 3 bounty hunters and a plague doctor, but I would really rather we do 4 bounty hunters, because 4 bounty hunters is so much more fun. Do we have a free plague doctor? We do. We could do this. I don't know why we would do this. It's just... why? What's so special about this? This is nowhere near as fun as 4 bounty hunters. So we've got the Wizen Hag to take down still, and the Siren. I fucking hate the Siren because she loves mind-controlling people. Which kinda means we need to take an Arbalast with us, because Rallying Flare prevents debuffs and all that good stuff, so kinda seems like a necessary one to take. And we could maybe run a position 4 Flagellant as a healer. That could be fun. Because they are quite strong as healers. Not sure what I wish to try. Really want to murder the Wizened Hag though, because fuck those people, they're just awful. But that means you need to get a party which specialises in long-range damage, hitting things at the back. Which would mean just all of our vessels apparently think they're too fucking good for this. God damn it. Okay. What could we field that does massive damage to the back? We have an occultist, obviously. Jesters. Because they can hit the back 2 ranks there, which is good, because that's what you need to be able to hit that person. You've got abyssal artillery there, so we need position 2 and position 3. Jeff refuses, because it's not going to be a proper challenge. It's not a proper challenge. Oh god, I think we maybe need to swap out some dudes. But there's nothing there that'll help us either. Frustrating. Very, very frustrating. I guess we could just run some level 3 stuff. Actually try and sort of show these level 3 people, yeah, no, you're not beyond this. Go and do something. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's make them do some things rather than sitting around thinking they're all that. I think... Oop, not that. Guild. I'm gonna go maximum over riposte. So they're both front rankers, they're both gonna need crush, because of course they will. Only one really needs bellow, I suppose. Which means our position 2 guy will do maybe... Guard, Retribution, Bolster? Or Command... no. Yeah. Command for the buff, Retribution for that, Bolster and Crush, because you don't need 2 people with the Bellow ability. So we'll do that. I suppose it makes more sense to actually then have Lady with the bellow. Make her more a kind of buffing sort of thing. Or we could run a different position too. We could actually run a position 3 man-at-arms that way. So that could be more fun. Have a position 2 Grave Robber, and a position 3 man-at-arms, who basically does nothing but all of the buffing and the debuffing. Yeah, we'll give that a go. I've never actually tried a full-on sort of support guy. Well, if that's the case, you probably want to use Defender, so you Retribution Defender and then buff things, and that's it. It's very passive, though. Like, really... really passive. That does just sound like such a passive build, though. I don't mind, like, a super passive build. I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go because I've not done it, and obviously this is low-level scrub tier shit, so it doesn't really matter if it all fucks up. So, Lady is going to be our position 3 buffly, guardly person. Bullet is going to be the upfront, damagey, McMurdery man-at-arms, still with the ability to defend and retribution, because of course not. We've got a Jeffafar, or a woman named Jeff, for the pickaxe to the face, which is really strong. And healers, because healers. Alright, let's do it. Let's enter... which one do we want? Busts. It's between busts and crests. We choose busts every time. Let's get some trinkets out. We have so very many heads. Why? Why do we have this many heads? We don't have any bleeds, I believe. Oh no, we've got flashing daggers. That's just bleed resist, though. It's not an actual bleed. Don't need that. Deal with your stress. Stick some HP on both of our men-at-arms, since they're going to be our tanky guys. Accuracy on melee for that. Jaffafafafa. Actually, dodge, that would make more sense. No, that would make more sense on you. Because you want all of the HP and... ooh, do we have a dodge stone? Because that is really, really useful for when you are guarding and riposting things. Stack all of the dodge, things swing, they miss you, and you hit them back. Like, it's just... it's hilarious. It actually works. Let's give you some extra speed so you get to do the swing-a-me-thing. What do you get? I have no idea what I want to give you. What abilities? You don't have Blight Dagger or anything like that, so I'm not sure what to... you know what, Jeff? You get nothing. Let's go with that. You get nothing. That's how we're playing it. I do believe this is our first ever medium run, so ooh. Super spooky, everything could go really, really bad. Let's see how it goes, chat.
Corruption has soaked the soil, sapping all good life from these groves. Let us burn out this evil.
I'm waiting... what I am waiting for is for Kolnix to return. Because when Kolnix gets back, we can do a Death Watch run. And I want to do a Death Watch run. Because of course I do. It's called the Death Watch Party. How can you not want to do that? Really? Really, sis? You're back to doing that, are you? Just back to missing literally everything. Oh, command or bolster? Command or bolster? Well, given your performance, sis, I think you need to be bolstered. So that you actually hit some things this time.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Chat, the reason you have not seen any cancer on the streams on this channel is because there's very little cancer on the streams in this channel. Because there's just less people here. Which is actually just, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Less people just means less chance at cancer. It's amazing.
Impressive.
I suppose just nuke him. Yeah, let's just nuke him. We've got the guard on the person with the least HP, so of course you target someone else now. Because of course you do. You're incredibly annoying. Give him the retribution, just in case. You never know. Maybe we'll get lucky. Might as well just remove that bleed from yourself, it's annoying. Oh, here we go. Oh, that didn't activate Riposte. That's interesting. I had no idea that... I suppose maybe because it doesn't do damage, perhaps? I have never seen that happen before. Very interesting. Give people the bolster. Apparently bolstering everyone else means getting struck by lightning. It's a very good life lesson for anyone watching the stream who is feeling particularly cancerous. If you would like to bolster people that you know and make them generally stronger and better at everything, go out into the middle of a field on a stormy day and hold up a very large piece of metal. Everyone will thank you for it. Really, lady? That was just... that was not good. Yes, chat, the cure for cancer is to have less people. Just in general, that's how it works. Is exactly how it works. Really? You gotta go marking the people with the lowest HP? Of course you do. It's fine. We will activate the guard ability, and then you will not take any damage. It will all be transferred to someone else. Yeah! Boss mode, yo. And then Bullet misses a swing, because of course he does. I wish I bought a Jester on this run. But it really helped keeping the stress down and all that good stuff. Probably about time to start healing. Because apparently being smacked by a giant... wow, that thing is dodging everything. Crazy. I just want it to not be able to mark shit.
Dazed, reeling, about to break.
We don't have anti-venom, you're just gonna have to, you know, deal with it. Give everyone some dodge. Maybe then they won't get hit by things.
A time to perform beyond one's limits.
There we go, we got rid of the marquee plaguey bullshit thing. Now we need to get rid of the thing that's causing all of the heebie-jeebies and the psychological damage. Because that stuff just ain't helpful. Wow, lady is taken all the damage. Yes, you may very potentially die to blight now. Please try to avoid dying to blight.
A singular strike.
It's okay, we can get you back from death's door. There you go. Look at that, it's fine. That's what you get for, like, trying to help people and save their lives and all that stuff. You end up dying. The lesson from this is never be a hero. Ever. Ever. If you see people in trouble, just leave them be. Oh, that's just great, isn't it? Oh, well, that's just wonderful. See, I bet all of you people, you're all like, no, we're too good for the level 1 stuff. I bet you're regretting it now, aren't you? Huh? You should be. Lady's gone insane. You're 2 fights in, chat. You are 2 fights into this run. And you're already going completely nuts. And things are falling apart. Frankly, you people, you should be ashamed of yourselves, chat. You're not doing very well here. Relax, bro. You're not blind. You're okay. My god. I've got to say, though, for the fact that this was an experimental run, I just wanted to try a 3-position man-at-arms. I find it very... I found a level 3 man-at-arms to be very... or a position 3 man-at-arms to be very underwhelming. I think maybe it's the combination of man-at-arms round in position 1 and in position 3. Because I think the thing is, man-at-arms are not like super-duper mega crazy damage dealers or anything. I think that's kind of the thing that sort of made this very underwhelming. I think we needed something a bit heavier on the deeps.
And now, the darkness holds dominion. Black as death.
So this might have worked a little bit better with, say, a leper in position 1. But this is what this game is all about. It's all about just experimentation. Try out new builds and new positions and see what you think about them. See, everyone is fine. Don't panic. Panicking is like the worst thing you can do right now, chat. You're all still alive, just. Half of you are going insane, but, you know, it's fine, guys. We will get out of this fight alive. I promise you that. Most of you. Some of you will get out of the fight alive. Maybe not all of you. We need more dodge. If I survive this, are we abandoning this? Yes. I just wanted to really sort of experiment with doing a full buffing, like, man-at-arms thing. Oh. I think you might die now because you can't use any healing abilities. Unless we kill this guy. People can't hit for shit. I think Sis may very well die here because of her inability to... And Bullet's been triggered because of course he has. Yeah, I just wanted to try sort of a 3rd position buffing man-at-arms. Oh god, we actually just can't do any damage here. Really? Really? Bullet? Really, Bullet?
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
Okay, can someone just be in a position where they're able to hit this thing for 2 damage? You just need to do 1 damage, like, anyone. That was not 1 damage, Jeff. Oh god, everyone is nuts. This is going really well, as you can tell. You can't do anything from there. Bullet! You're ruining it for everyone. We could lose 2 people here because of you, Bullet, being all like, no, I want to stick around because fuck you, that's why. He just can't hit anything, this thing. Ah. Right, please hit the thing this time, Jeff. Well done. You had 1 job and you did it. My god, that was awful. See, chat, this is what happens. You're all like, yeah, we're too good for the things. And then you go into a run like that. How do you feel? How do you feel about that, chat? You've been shown. All you level 3s like, oh, we're too good for everything now. Yeah, let's see how good you are now. Huh? You can just all go to the Abbey and think about what you've done. I should send all of you to the penance halls. So you can just all get whipped. On the plus side, I do believe that this... Nope, Cole is still on his little mystery fucking holiday break. Although, I believe... Did we have a highwayman somewhere? We did not. Oh, that's a shame. I wanted to do the multiple highwayman thing. Spam, point blank shot. Blow everything away. That'd be great. I'm tempted to get rid of a few people and start making room for just other classes so that we've got a little bit more flexibility in what we're doing. So, 4 Crusader army now. We can't because Sunpro and Drake think they're just too damn good for this world. So we'd have to get Dark and Sean up to level 3 so that they can actually go with them somewhere. Because, yeah, these guys refuse otherwise. They don't want to hang out with the Lobies. Because of course they don't. It means we should probably deal with some of the diseases. Again, of some of the people that we're not going to be sending out. Oh, come on, you gotta send Lewis and Lewis's brother in together, right? I mean, they do everything together. That's how it works. You guys, you're gonna have to separate yourselves for just one time. Just so you know. Unless we can add an extra thing. That's ward slots. God damn it, Kolnix, why did you have to take a goddamn holiday, like, right now? You are the worst thing ever. Well, it does mean is that we could have a potential crack at one of the other bosses while we're just waiting, and as a means of leveling up some of our other dudes. So, Wizened Hague... Actually, you don't really want to send Crusaders against that. You could send Crusaders against the Siren, though. That would be fine. Why 3 bedpans indeed, Drake? Keep that in mind. Okay, so if we do Nya, that's our 2 front damage dealers, who won't need battle heal. They'll need other abilities, but we can sort that out shortly. What would we then need? Basically you need Narblast because debuff resist of Rallying Flare to stop people getting mind controlled. What would then be a good position 3? I'd be tempted actually just to stick a position 2 Flagellant in actually. And then a position 3 something else. Could take a Jester. Or we could take a Plague Doctor. I mean, let's see what we've got ability-wise. So we've got a position 2 thing, which is Bleeds. So that's great. So maybe we could get something that stacks with Bleeds. Which would be Jester, because they've got the whole bleeding everything. Or an Incision using Plague Doctor. Hellions don't really work in position 3. Although we could lead this party with a Hellion, because if it bleeds, and the Siren is quite big and does usually take up ranks 2 and 3, so that's good. We've got the bleeding there, debuff resist from Rallying Flare, which we will learn. So position 3 for this could then be either a Vestal, or our Occultist, or we could actually use any of these classes, probably not the Antiquarian, though. But we could use any of these. This would allow stacking diseases and bleeds, so that would be good. Jester would give us the most bleed stacking potential. Siegfried Sacrificial Stag doesn't give a bleed, though. Or we take a position 3 Vestal. I think a position 3 Vestal would just be too much healing, actually. Because you've got then a Flagellant and an Arbalast. Both of them, we're going to take both of them with healing abilities there. So I think having a 3rd Vestal there might just be too damn much healing without a whole lot of damage, and therefore Siegfried might be better as a position 3 guy. Remove pull, give him the stab. But then he will still have weird reconstruction, though. Or, I suppose we could do a position 3 Flagellant and do a position 2 Bounty Hunter then. But I want to hold my Bounty Hunters in the wing because I want to do the... I want to do the multiple Bounty Hunter thing. Yes, chat, I know that the Siren is bleed resistant because of, well, being fish, but debuff target minus bleed resist. Debuff target minus bleed resist. So it doesn't matter because we're gonna destroy their bleed resist ability within a couple of swings anyway, because flagellants. That's how it works. So doesn't, you know, that's how it works. It doesn't matter if they've got a little bit of bleed resist because we're going to be wrecking it. Yeah, okay. I think this might be okay. Those abilities are all fine, Mangino is fine, Siegfried is fine, he's got all the necessary things. You need to learn Rallying Flare and to stack it up, because debuff resist. Hopefully it'll stop people from losing their goddamn minds, because, you know, that would be great. And then we've got healing from that, healing from the 2 Flagellant abilities. We do have weird reconstruction if we need it, but it shouldn't really be necessary. It's more about the weakening curse for this guy, though. Stack that and then stabby or artillery if necessary. Although I'm tempted to take put him in position 2 and take the stun. Because if people get mind controlled, then that's going to cause some problems. Actually, thinking about it, when people get mind controlled, they get sent to the back row. So what we actually need is to have breakthrough on the Hellion, so if she gets mind controlled and goes to the back, she can go forward. And Mangina, well, he'll just have to walk forward very, very slowly and ponderously, I think. Or we replace him with a Crusader who will have Holy Lance and be able to lunge forward then. I think that might be better. But if that's the case, then we can't use, we can't destroy them with the bleed resist and the stacking. I think we'll run with this, I think. Give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen apart from, you know, a total and complete team wipe? Which is kind of the worst thing that can happen. But, you know, we've had worse, chat. Now, we want to give you the thing with the extra HP, because of course we do. Arbalast, you definitely want extra healing skills, because of course you do. Not sure... What was that thing? 20% extra bleed skill chance could be useful for the Hellion. Could be. But I'm thinking just give a little bit extra HP. Not really sure what to give to the occultist for this one. I mean, 15% bonus healing skill seems pretty useful, just to make sure that no one gets completely murdered. Ooh, yes, debuff resist chance. Absolutely. Because the mind control of the Siren is a debuff. Of course, if that's the case, it might actually be better to give debuff resist to the Flagellant, because the Flagellant doesn't have the ability to move forward. Let's do that. Because he, if he gets mind control, doesn't have the ability to actually move forward ranks, whereas the Hellion does, and these two guys, it doesn't matter if they're both in the back. Because the back ranks are where these guys actually work the best. Sure, if Siegfried goes back to rank 4, he can't use Sacrificial Stab, but it's not really the end of the world. He could still use Artillery and Weakening Curse. We'll go with that. We might actually be okay. Food, torches, of course. Couple of shovels, couple of keys, necessary. We need lots of holy water here because we want to take holy water before going into the fight because it gives you all of the resists, which is going to be really, really important. Couple of medicinal herbs because I know there's things that need that curio-wise. Alright. Let's give it a swing.
My lofty position wasn't always accompanied by the fear of office. And there was a time
yes,
when
I am theory crafting in orgy. I'm in the theory crafting orgy mode again. Chat, you've just got to accept this is my thing.
One precocious village waif made it her hobby to shadow my every errand.
If you don't want if you don't want stupid amounts of theory crafting and looking at all of the mechanics and saying this will stack with that, this will stack with that, then you are in the wrong place, my friends. Okay, willing to bet the Siren is over there because it's just the furthest thing away. We will once again see whether or not that general theorem of life holds true or not. Is this trip going to end badly or horribly? Excellent question. I'm willing to bet probably horribly. But you don't know. I don't know. You don't know. There's only one way to find out, and that is to go with the flow. Someone believes that this may very well go flawlessly. There is a possibility that it will go absolutely flawlessly. I don't think it's a very high probability that it's going to go absolutely flawlessly, but you never know. The important thing is to try. That's what I've found. Just try. Try, and try again, and eventually, one day, you won't suck at everything.
Obliterated.
Yes, chat, you are completely correct. You could put the most attractive person jiggling all around in front of me while I'm theory crafting, I would not notice. I would just be like, huh, yeah. In fact, I'd probably tell them to get out and just be like, no, just go away. You're not even really distracting me, but your presence is annoying me, so just leave. That would probably be as far as it would go if I noticed at all. Which, I'm still not sure if I even would.
Continue the onslaught.
Just gotta accept, when I game, I break out the spreadsheets and everything. Even if only in my mind.
Hacks laden with loot.
And I have absolutely no problem with saying that. Because you know what? That makes things fun. And it leads to doing things like I do in this, where you end up theory crafting some absurd shit. And then you're just like, yeah, maybe this'll work, in theory, perhaps, and then sometimes it'll work out brilliantly, and other times it's just like, nah, that was a really terrible idea. You absolutely shouldn't have done that. It was awful. But that's part of the fun. No, I'm not an iron. TP chat, by that slightly questionable measure of things, I'm actually an INTJ. I have all of the judgments. Every single one of the judgments. I have them, and I make them.
Annihilated.
Give people the bandages, it'll be great. Give them the stabbing, it'll be great. I need to play Factorio, I have no idea what that is. Is that a, if it's some sort of crazy, resource management city building thing, which it kind of sounds like it might be. If that's the case, I would get a lot done, but I would also just be like, okay, here is the grand plan. And that's one of my real problems in, like, city building games. I kind of like think, okay, this will be the most optimal thing endgame, and then I try and shoot for that, and it's like, yeah, no, you can't do it like that, because what works in the endgame doesn't work in the early game. So, that's just one of my sort of slight problems. And then you build things up naturally and organically, and then you get to the end and you're like, I can't just, like, level the area which I started in, because that'll fuck up the delicate balance of everything. So it ends up becoming actually really quite difficult to have that perfect world where everything works. It's very much like real life. You can't get everything absolutely perfect, and it's very frustrating. This is why I should never be trusted in any sort of position of power or anything like that, especially when it comes to the management of society. Because I would just be like, right, we're tearing down this, 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 and this, and we're starting it all again, and everyone would just be like, no, let's not do that, because that sounds just like way too much effort, and it will disrupt things far too much, at which point I will say, I don't care, because in the end, it'll be worth it. I am one of those people who plants trees knowing that they will not sit in the shade of that tree. I'm one of those people.
Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
It is true, chat. Perfectionism can be a very harsh mistress. It can. Especially if you're someone like me who's like, yeah, I want things to be good. In fact, I don't want them just to be good, and then you're like, I want them to be perfect. I want them to be the most ideal that they can be.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Give the things the punishment. Punish the big guy. Make him bleed. An interesting question there, from a more philosophical point. If you're not going to have kids, Teal dear, then why do you like to try to make the future better beyond your life? Why not? Just because I don't personally particularly want to have kids, that doesn't mean that I want to leave the world in an absolute shit state.
Death waits.
Funny, because I'm pretty sure I recall you being a person who tried to call me a hypocrite for caring about things like how kids are raised and how they're treated when I don't want them. Which, I must say, if that was you, and I'm pretty sure it was, is one of the most just ridiculous comments that I've ever heard. It's like, I don't like a lot of other people. That doesn't mean that I want other people to be abused and mistreated throughout the entirety of their life. Think about it like that. So, you know, even though, because I don't want to have kids and probably am never going to, in fact, it's pretty much guaranteed that I'm never going to, because I just don't want them, frankly. Just because that's the case, that doesn't mean that I'm like, oh, I don't give a shit about the world. I'm just gonna litter everywhere, destroy everything that I meet, and go and pillage and murder and try to make the world as much of an awful place as I can. It's stupid. If you were joking about the hypocrite comment, I would severely hope that it was a joke. Because if you said that comment in all seriousness, then it was an absolute ridiculous comment. Just because you don't do something yourself, that doesn't mean that you instantly have sort of no interest or desire to see that thing done well.
Victory nonetheless.
We have more than one stack of holy water. Let's drop a holy water. I can't believe that I'm saying it and doing it. Gonna drop a holy water for the sake of busts. Because it's all about dem busts, chat. Just so you know. Oh yay, it's one of those things that we can put herbs on and get food again. Oh, there is no food. I hope those things gave food. Well, clearly not.
Paid for in blood.
Not even going to bother dealing with that one with the other herbs. If it's just going to drop a load of stuff which I'm not going to be able to carry. Would very much like a scout in that direction, but we basically know where we're going. We know where the siren is at. My god, chat, you are eating a lot. You've got hungry over the space of a single room. What the hell is wrong with you? You got worms or something? My god. Sort yourselves out, guys. Overeating is not healthy for you. Please cease.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
See, it's interesting. It's like you want to make the world a better place, but it's a pointless desire for yourself. Well, no, it isn't. That is where I would have to disagree. Just because you have no particular interest in some sort of personal legacy or anything like that, well, just because you have no personal genetic legacy, that doesn't mean you don't still have a personal legacy. You know, you can still make the world a better place just for other people. You don't have to only be concerned with people who you're related to. You know, you can still do nice things for people who aren't related to you genetically. Another little thought. Okay, everyone, quaff your holy water now. Because, yay, debuff resist, so people don't get fucking mind controlled.
The aquatic devils have remade the poor girl in their image.
And now we're going to remove all of your bleed resist. And fuck it, we'll give you a weakening curse as well, so you don't hurt people as much. Probably should have camped in the room previously. Who cares? Resist it! Yes! More debuff resist! Stack it all! Dodge everything! Look at this, chat. You are making all of the plays, chat. Stack the bleeds. Yes! Bleed her to death. It is a thing of beauty. I'm disappointed. 37% bleed resist and still didn't happen. Resist! Well done, Zenik. You resisted. Proud of you, buddy. Siegfried, you missed stabbing a giant fish in the face. Let's get more debuff resist. Let's turn it into a little bit more than a simple coin flip. Give more bleeds. How very dare you resist? That's absolutely atrocious.
Back to the pit.
See, Siegfried, you need to be doing that more often, buddy. That's the way of going about it. More debuff resist. It's almost like I am really crazily insane about not having people be fucking mind controlled. Just stab her if she's not going to play the bleeding game. There you go, chat. See, self-enjoyment for knowing you made the place better. Precisely. That's the reason why I do what I do on YouTube. As I've sort of said to people, it's like there's no real, like, hey, this is a financial majorb thing. So remember, like, comment, subscribe, donate to my Patreon, buy my t-shirts, and all that sort of shit. No, it's like, no. I'm gonna do this because I want to do this because I really enjoy it. I like knowing that I'm making some sort of difference somewhere to some people, even if it's only like one person. Even if it's only one or two people. Like, I would still be doing all the exact same shit even if I had, like, a super tiny channel. I think actually this channel kind of proves it. You know, I've really sort of upped my game on this by sort of trying to do at least one thing a month, one thing a week. I've actually ended up doing more than that. It's usually more like 2 a week, sometimes 3. And it's because I enjoy it. I enjoy doing things for other people. You're all here. You're all enjoying yourselves. That's what I want. That's what I want people to have. You know, have them have their lives be improved a little bit. And if I can do that, then I'm gonna do that. Because my legacy is not only my genes. It is all of my work and everything that I do. See, there's a Houndmaster trinket here. Come on, game. You gotta give me a Houndmaster after you tempt me with such a trinket. I mean, it's not really a very good one. It's nice if you want to do the we're going to be a guard dog build, but other than that, it's kind of meh. Like, comment, and subscribe. The quote from Teal there. It's true. It is true. I could do t-shirt sales, but I have no desire to bother with it, frankly. I cannot be bothered with it. Even though I know there's online companies where you just send them designs, you pay them, they do everything, ship it out, and then they give you a pay for it. I just can't be bothered. I can't be bothered with that extra fucking hassle of things. As I said, I'm you know, money is not my main concern for doing this. So it's kind of like, why would I bother adding an extra stress to my life when I don't need nor want it, frankly. You would make the world a better place if you sold Teal Deer t-shirts. Maybe that is true, but there's still no Houndmaster. Game does not want us to have a Houndmaster, chat. It's so sad. The world might be a better place if I sold t-shirts, but frankly, looking at the quality of some of the things that people get off those websites, they're just a bunch of tat, really. It's a bunch of overpriced shit. And frankly, if I was going to sell people something, I wouldn't want it to be overpriced shit. Because, you know, I don't know if you've noticed, but I have these things called standards. Especially ethical standards, but I also have just standards in general. I'm not going to sell people overpriced shit just for the sake of making money. It's fucking awful, frankly. And it's hilarious because I say all of this sort of stuff and it's like, yeah, I don't really care about the cash or anything like that. It's, you know, it's a nice little extra, but it's not the main concern. And then you'll still get idiots who will try and tell you how incredibly salty I am that other people are making money. And it's like, I don't give a shit. Also, as I've repeatedly mentioned, YouTube isn't my entire income, so how do you know how much I make in order to declare that it's less than someone else's? The answer is, you don't! So you're pulling things out of your ass in order to impugn someone's motives so that you can then judge them based on your assertions. So fucking sad. You know, if you want to make t-shirts and shit around things which I've said, then feel free to do so. Not quite sure how the artists would feel about you borrowing their logos or something like that, but, you know, If you wanted to give it a go, I'm sure they wouldn't object. Maybe. I don't know, you'd have to take it up with the artists. You'd have to somehow track them down and say, hey, can I stick your thing on a t-shirt, and then do it. You know, feel free to do that. As I've always said, all of my stuff is like public domain as far as it goes, so you know, you can use my shit, I don't care. Although when it comes to like logos and artwork like that, like I said, you probably want to talk to the artist about that, not me, because, well, they own their stuff. Just because they've given it to me to put in a video or to something like that, that doesn't mean that I own it, it's still theirs. How do we wish to upgrade the Hamlet? Or do we wish to just do runs in order to get crests and start actually getting... I don't think we need the bank, we are swimming in money, but I definitely want the Vintners up. Vintners is good. What I really want is Hound Mastery, because I want to do a silly maximum bleed party, because that will amuse me the most out of all of the things. Chat thinks that secretly I am a millionaire. No? That is not the case. Oh, there you go. Actually, it's kind of hilarious. I just looked at my phone for the time and I have an email on it. It's, this will be like the 5th or 6th email that I've got from this company, from, who are they from? From Teespring, saying like, oh, if you want to sell the t-shirts and stuff, we'll give you like a VIP shop and all of that sort of stuff, yeah. You see, look at this, it's like, oh, the flat base cost per product, of the set selling price, you keep 100% of the profit, so you make 10 quid of profit on a 20 quid t-shirt sale. It's like, you want people to buy t-shirts for like 20 quid? Or more than 20 quid? What the really? That's like crazy. And then I look at some of the like Teespring things, and what was the other one? I can't fucking remember, that some other YouTubers are doing. And it's like, oh yeah, our t-shirts are like 40 quid each. It's like, what the fuck? Pull the other one. Jesus Christ, 40 quid for a fucking t-shirt that's probably gonna fall apart as soon as you stick it in a washing machine? Why? Why on earth? Ugh. I am a secret tealionaire. Yes, that is true. Absolutely. No, I am not going to talk about how much money I have or how much I earn, chat. Tis a most vulgar and ungentlemanly topic. Although I suppose I could make some allusions, especially when it comes to idiots like the person who has redundantly named himself the same thing twice, you know who I'm talking about, who accused me of being salty because other people are making more money than me. I mean, I could just point out to him that all of my Patreon money that I have ever earned, I haven't spent a single penny of it. I earn more money in a year than I know what to do with. Every single penny that has gone through my Patreon account is sitting in a separate bank account that I have not accessed once. What that will tell you is that it is very comfortably in the 5 figures. Like, very, very comfortably in the 5 figures. And it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. Not used it for anything, not even sure what I would use it on, frankly. I will say that the extra stuff from YouTube and all that has really actually vastly improved the quality of my life. Because it has given me that little bit extra. It's enabled me to do things like actually sort of go and get proper deep tissue treatment a lot more frequently. It's enabled me to attend physiotherapy sessions and all that sort of stuff. So it's actually been really, really helpful for all of that sort of stuff, just from a medical standpoint. Basically, it's actually not completely sort of cured one of the major problems which I had. But it has really, really helped it. Do I even want to say what that is? Yeah, I will. Fuck it, who cares? Frankly, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if people know or not, frankly. But over the last, like, sort of 3 or 4 years, because of the leg pain and problems which I've had, which no one, again, still no one really seems to know what it is. It might be neurological damage, might be something else. They've kind of ruled out muscular, so it seems to more be like a nerve thing, or just a sheer symptom of the pain, but I actually started developing and got a really, really bad limp, actually, on one of my legs, just as a sort of walking habit from either the pain or some sort of nerve or muscular problem. But that's what made it so weird, because I had loads of nerve conduction studies done, all came back nothing wrong, had the muscle biopsies and all that, came back nothing wrong, so it was just really weird. Like, no one sort of knows what this thing is or what the problem is or anything like that, but I actually ended up walking with a really, really quite severe limp. And actually the ability to go and get all of this sort of soft tissue work done, like proper deep tissue stuff, like basically every week and weekly physio and things like that, have actually really helped sort that out. It's still, my walk is still not proper anymore, but it's a load better. It's like so much better than it was now. So, yeah, so that, it's been massively helpful, like the YouTube thing as a side venture. Really, really helpful from like a health perspective, like that for me. I think it's also actually sort of really kind of helped my mental health actually to some degree as well, because I'm less stressed about all of the whole world going to shit sort of thing, because I've got a creative outlet for it, so that was nice as well, I suppose. So all around it has been a win, despite the massive increase of stress of dealing with morons in comment sections and morons making videos being morons. Like, here's the thing that you said. It's, no, actually what I said was the complete opposite. You've just repeated my own position back at me while announcing I'm wrong. You're an idiot. Well done. So, yes. That despite all of that extra stuff, I think it's still actually been an overall net benefit. I say that now on this channel, this tiny little channel, which I much prefer to the large one by now. I much prefer a smaller audience. But, yeah, there you go. There you go, chat. You have learned all of the things, which really you kind of already knew mostly anyway. It's just filling in a couple of little extra details for you. I'm setting out the breadcrumbs, so that you might actually, it's adding to the mystery and all of that sort of shit, you know? So there you go. all of the things. Haven't even bothered looking at chat while I'm doing that. I'm just moving around highlighting shit while I'm talking now. I'm pretty sure that makes this like the worst video gaming stream ever, because I've kind of just been sitting chatting shit for like 5 or 10 minutes and not actually bothering to play vidya. No, chat, it is not lupus. I am pretty sure it's not lupus, chat, because it's never lupus. Just deal with it. Abominations and Jesters versus a Necromancer? What? It is true, if anyone would like to dox me, I'm a limping rich guy with a bad internet connection, except I'm not rich, and I don't have a bad internet connection, so... No, I have no particular desire to be doxed by nice fans, or haters, or anything like that. The thing is, you're not going to be able to, frankly. There's not enough information about me on the internet, because I basically don't have any sort of social media accounts, and all of my stuff is not actually in my name, or most of it online is not in my name. All the stuff which has connections to the public TLD Persona thing is not sort of in my name anyway. So, yeah, that's not going to happen even if someone, like, hacked it or got into it or something like that. It's all on email accounts which have really, really weird names, or ones which are just totally made up and shit like that, so good luck with that. Burrito and rum? How did you know that I enjoyed rum, good sir? Where on earth would you get an idea like that? Huh? Huh? It is true, chat, there is no screaming on this, which makes it better than any other game stream. Absolutely. Because, let's be honest, people who over-exaggerate their emotions and shout and scream into the microphone, ear-raping their audience every 30 seconds, and trying really desperately to force a whole bunch of memes, Like, oh, this thing happened on the screen, we found one of these things, I'm going to talk about it now for the next 10 minutes and be all like, oh, it's the thing, and yeah, and try and reference back to that, like, every couple of minutes or something like that. Really got to try and force out them ebbing interwebs maymays for your chat, you know? It's just, please stop. Just stop. It's not good. That is an excellent abomination padlock. I'm gonna go and get that because that's really cool, and it gives us a event which I believe increases something on the next run you do in the Warrens. So let's go with that. Whom shall we send to deal with the swine? We could deploy the wall again. And speaking of the wall, we should probably send Lady to go and get a little more de-stressed. Or we can do what we did last time, and we can send all of our abominations. I am quite the fan of sending all of the abominations. Which actually then makes me think that I really want to enable the skins for that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna experiment with that actually. So I mean, it's pretty clear that I've sort of kind of lost interest in playing this now because it's actually getting the very fact that I have deviated to give you the worst stories imaginable, and the fact that it's like 11:30 at night and we've been doing this for how fucking long now? 2.5 hours. I'm probably not going to achieve a whole lot extra on this run by now. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to go and enable all of these other mods over here, and we're going to play around and see if we can get a falconer, because I want to get a falconer and play that, see what that class is like, but I also wish to check the Raven Fiend, so you get to see my other game. Ooh, look at this. This is the other game, the game that you know nothing about.
I was lord of this place.
It's actually you do. It's the game which I tested my my stream with. It was the Deer Rig Mark 1 thing. And look, chat, all of those heroes, you know who were there that you saw, they're all fucking dead now. I was so mad about this. These 4 guys here, they all died together. They were all murdered when the wolf event happened, which attacks your town. It's like a level 6 dungeon that just starts immediately, and these guys all got murdered in the boss fight. We killed the boss, but then the one the one mob which was still in with him, basically killed not all of them. I believe these guys were dead by the time we got to that point, and we were down to like these 2, and ultimately ended up in one battle. It was an epic battle of Guideville versus that guy, and I remember this because it annoyed me to no end. I don't mind admitting that I was a little tiny bit salty about this. Guideville missed 3 swings with a knife in a row. The guy dodged 3 times in a row and then killed him. It was basically like swing, get stabbed. He couldn't heal, if I recall, because of the position that he was... Oh, no, he could. So it was basically like swing... Why is it showing level 1 abilities there? That's really stupid. When I suppose they're dead, so they only have level 1 abilities. But it was basically like swing, miss, get attacked, reconstruction, get attacked again, which would do half of it, swing, miss, get attacked, lose almost all your HP, reconstruction, back up, and that repeated itself 3 times before he eventually got critted and died, and it was just like, why? We were so close. And the other guy, he required 1 more swing. It was like 5 HP or something like that left on him. So sad. It was such an epic battle. I'm not sure how we're going to try and get the, well, first of all, I suppose we've got to see if this new skin is in. Oh, it's gone into position 5. So that's the new abomination skin. The name Courtney actually suits that. So we'll do that, maybe just bang out a random ass run and see if we get a falconer in this time. Which means I really want to increase the stagecoach network so that I get an extra slot. So let's do that, and we'll run like a super quick one. Can I actually get enough stuff to expand it this turn? Yeah, I only need to get one more. Oh, that was stupid. Misclicking all the things. So this will give us the thing, and maybe we'll be able to get a Faulkner, or maybe maybe she's gonna be like the
of the damned.
Maybe she will be like the elusive Houndmaster from the other game. Just you can't do it. It's not allowed. There you go. That's a short veteran one. We'll be able to send in. We'll be able to send in our newly reskinned Abomination. Check that out. That's going to be a thing. Oh yes, because you're like that, aren't you? Send in you. Send in, I guess, then. Don't really have any high level dudes who can heal. Who is not. I don't have a high level occultist really. That's kind of annoying. Do I even have an occultist? Do I even have an occultist left? Believe the answer is no. Well, that's kind of sad. Okay, new plan. Abomination goes rank 3. We spam blind shot, and we stick in position for a really high level Plague Doctor. There you go, he's going to carry us to the win. Yeah, you're fine. You'll be fine. Do that. Plague things, plague things, plague things, murder, 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 point blank. Yep, we'll probably be okay. I really wish I had a stronger healer for this. I suppose we could send a high-level Arblast. Let's do that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll send a high-level Arblast because that'll be good healing. And then we can still mutate her anyway and just have a charge forward and do the murder. Which means as long as they've got pistol shot, they can still attack from rank 3. It'll be fine. I just want to do this and see if I can... yeah, fine. We'll give them some trinkets just so you don't whine about it, game. I just want to see if I can get one and mess around with it for fun. Range skills, yep, you need that. Oh, I can't even remember what most of these things do. Yeah, you want that, and you want that, and you want... ah, fuck knows, just some random old shit. Sure, Speedstone, why the fuck not? Let's just do it. I just want to do a quick run and see if one of the new class will spawn for me. Just for fun. That's probably too much food for a short run. Yeah, like I said, short run, let's just bang it out and see. See if I can grab a Faulkner and then put them in for us for another run. If they spawn, if they don't, then I will give up and go to sleep. And be sad. So that's the plan. But I get to play around with the new Abomin... What the fuck? That's really bright, whatever that little artifact is there on that character there. Super bright. Not sure what that's about. Oh well. We need to go and get into a fight so we can witness the new awesome avian beast form for fun. Sure, this'll do. Witness the beast. That's why I downloaded this mod. Look at that thing. Look at that beast. Whoever did the artwork for this beast is just... You're pretty damn good. I know basically all they've done is put some feather things there and darken that, changed the... put in the glowing eye looks and then just palette swapped it. So it is a relatively simple swap, but my god, it's one which just looks so damn good. I mean, look at that! Look at it! So cool.
Unnerved, unbalanced.
Birds are fucked up. Well, of course it is. It's a mutant bird. It's an abomination of a bird. That's why I wanted to get that thing out and just be like, yeah, I want to look at it in the actual gameplay because it's awesome.
As the fiend falls,
So I did it.
a faint hope blossoms.
But yeah, now I know what that looks like. That's awesome. And I just want to finish this run and see if I can get a Faulkner class so that I can look like it. It does quite possibly look like a crow that you've seen from something else. I wouldn't be surprised if it is actually based on something somewhere from something. It's quite possible, but it just looks really awesome. I was looking at it in the workshop and I was like, yeah, I want that. I want that in my games. So who knows, maybe I will enable that mod for the other game. Just for fun, just because it looks awesome and it'll provide a little bit of variety to our abominations, so we don't have 3 things that look totally identical. But if I can find a Faulkner for this run, which I'm hoping I can, or after this, and we can get one and maybe do a really, again, super duper quick run. And if we can do that, and then I might give chat... I may very well give chat then the choice of whether we wish to enable a custom class in the other game, for the reason, obviously, that it... I don't know if it's going to be game-breaking or not, and that's why I want to sort of mess around with it on 1 or 2 runs first. It may be game-breaking, it may not, but then I might leave it down to chat whether or not we will do that or not. How do you install mods? You go to the Steam Workshop and you click Install Mod. It's really that simple. Like, you don't have to bother going into the game files and adding anything. Some of them you may have to, but generally you can just install them. And a lot of the people who do work on the mods, which are on the workshop, they will include a list of things that the mods conflict with, of other mods that they conflict with, if there is that, if that is a thing that might happen.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
I like this. We're experimenting with mods and doing runs, and there are people talking about the merits of Celsius versus Fahrenheit. Just
Wealth beyond measure.
just accept it. Celsius is the way of doing things. Fahrenheit is just wrong. I want to get the exploration done with, so I can see what. So I can see what the train, like, not the train. You know what I mean. The thing, the carriage has brought in. Oh, you're on the GOG version. Well, in that case, you'll have to download any mods from the Nexus. I think that's where most of them are hosted. So if you just like Googled up Nexus mods Darkest Dungeon, you should then go to the Nexus mods place. It used to be many moons ago. That was like the website for downloading Morrowind mods and Oblivion mods when that came out. And I think they've expanded out since then to be a general mod site. So I'm pretty sure it is that one. So you just look up that, and then you'd have to follow whatever installation instructions are available, and just go with them. It'll normally require you to dump something into the game files. It's pretty simple.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Someone's asking me about imperial or metric measurement systems. I use both. Sometimes I use them interchangeably. But when it comes to distances, I use Imperial because reasons. In fact, actually, yeah, so when it comes to distances, I use Imperial measurements, so I'll use inches, feet, miles, and so on. When it comes to temperature, I will use Celsius, which is the metric, and when it comes to weight, I use metric as well. I don't know why I do distance in Imperial and everything else in metric, but for some reason I do. No idea why that is a thing. For some reason, that's just how I operate. Honestly, it's probably best if you just don't question why I do things the way I do, because, yeah. Yes, the Imperial system is weird, that's the point. Although, actually saying that, it's not. It seems weird because a lot of the Imperial systems are based on counting to 12. And the thing is, counting to 12 mathematically actually kind of makes doing things in units of 12 actually kind of makes more sense than doing things in units of 10 sometimes. It's to do with very, very old counting things, and it's actually a really, really efficient way of counting things on your fingers as well. And that's where some of them came from. So, things which are divided into 12, when you count to 12 on your fingers, you're counting the knuckles of each hand. So obviously you've got three on each finger, and then you've got 2 on the thumb there, and you just use the pad of the thumb as the third. So then obviously you've got 3, 6, 9, 12 and potentially 15 there if you wanted to use the thumb as well. But you can count to 12 just using 4 fingers like that, because each finger is broken down into 3 units. So when it comes to some of the Imperial things and some things based around counting to 12, that's pretty much where that sort of system will originate from. And why actually, because it's all based on units of 3 ultimately, it can actually be a lot more efficient sometimes. Yeah, as chat is saying, it's base 12. That is the name of it. It's base 12 counting. Completely forgot the name, but that's the theory of how it goes. So yeah, if you just look up base 12, you can just Wikipedia it. It'll give you a basic overline of it, or overview, and it will explain sort of how it works. And maybe if you're lucky, it will tell you the reason why it's sometimes considered better than counting to things in units of 10. There you go, you've learned so much in this stream, chat. You've learned some stupid bullshit regarding this game, because theory crafting, which happens all the goddamn time anyway. You've learned the teeniest, tiniest little bit of information about the person behind the door, which frankly it was all kind of knowledge that was known anyway. You've had some of the general, you've just had kind of a little bit of extra rebuttal to the general fucking stupidity of idiots on interwebs, and you've had a really sort of brief, super brief introduction to the base 12 counting system. Look at that. So, yeah. All of the things that you learn when you come to a gaming stream with me, how about that? No, divided by 3 as a metric is not beyond cancer, chat. Seriously, go look up base 12 counting system. Or, you know, just talk to anyone who actually sort of studies it and knows what it is and how to use it and is actually not totally autistic, and they will explain it to you in a way that will hopefully make sense and actually then be like, yeah, this is why it's considered better.
Another mariner, another misfortune.
Despite its
Alright, let's see if we can continue our luck with the horrendous wagon of corpses, or soon-to-be corpses.
Their customs are curious. and
Come
their
on.
generosity is
Give me the new
notoriously
thing.
short-lived.
There is no new thing. Oh, I am sad. I want to dick around with the new class, and we can't do it because this game hates me and wants me to suffer. Alright, well, I failed. I will... And look, we have all of these trinkets that we just don't really give a shit about. I really should, like, check this thing in between runs more often. But yeah, we know now, so there we go. Wagon will never bring me the class that I want it to bring me. That is the lesson that I have taken away from this. But if I uncover the Falconer class in my other game, which more correctly this game, then I will, well, I'll see how good they are, whether they're game-breakingly overpowered, which frankly some of them are, or whether it's actually a pretty well-balanced one, and maybe then, chat, I will give you the chance to vote upon whether or not we add the Falconer to our internet chatty adventures of chat. But I think what I might do is, I might enable this mod for it, because it's, my god, it's just awesome, and it'll give us a little bit more variation of, in our abominations. I might enable the, this expanded palette swap thing as well, so you just get a few more extra color variants for everything except the flagellant. So you get loads of new color combinations of things. It just makes it easier to, like, differentiate who's who and who's what, especially when you're running, well, as we are currently in the other game, where you happen to have 5 units that are all the same class. And that way it'll maybe make it a little bit less confusing as to who is what and all of that sort of shit. Can I name the Falconer Turtle for you? No. No. That's not gonna happen. No way. Just no. Not happening. I leave them with the default names in my run because I don't give a shit. If you come to the other game, by which I mean the actual game, you know, the dankest of dank games, if you come to here and we dick around with the wagon and we find that we get a Falconer over here when chat has decided whether or not they wish for it to be active, I might do a run from the other game if I get one and show you what it's like. And then you can decide, and then if we decide that we wish to run Falconers in this run, then you will have to be there, and if you are there and you get your name in the place and I decide that your name doesn't suck, then you can do it. Then you can be a Falconer. So how about that? It's a thing. What happened to the hub? The colours are different. So what? You mean the Hamlet in this one? It may very well be because it's a different time of day.
My obsession.
But there's also this thing going on, the Nomad New Year, so maybe that'll do it. So it's probably just the time of day that this is, because it's night currently. If you leave it sitting here long enough, it'll slowly cycle through to a different time of day. Of course, it might also have something to do with some of the quests which I've recently done. Like, I just did the first mission, I just downed the first boss in the courtyard there, so that relieved everyone of their bloodlust stuff, so maybe that'll be why this is a slightly different colour. I don't know. It just shit happens. But it might very well be to do with this Nomad event, that everything goes dark and you have all these weird candles and derp. It might have something to do with that. In fact, odds are that it probably does have something to do with this event, so I don't know. Game makes a lot of changes to aesthetic things like that randomly. That's part of what makes it interesting and makes it look cool. Yes, chat, you are all going to get ignored by Senpai. That's exactly how this works. Don't know if you've noticed, but someone doesn't want falcons, they want battle owls. Falcons is the best you're gonna get, buddy, so just deal with it. There's no battle owls for you. Yet. Maybe one day in the not too distant future if you behave. Possibly. Anyway, I'm gonna sod off and go to sleep, so yeah. Thanks for being here, chat. It has been fun and hopefully educational for you. We've covered all of the topics which you bet you never even fucking thought that you would cover in a live stream with me. How about that? But you know, that's the purpose of these little streams here. They're the small, the intimate ones, where everything is not just business. We actually get to engage, chat. How about that? Do you remember what that is? You know, engaging, social, being social, and all that sort of stuff. You know, because apparently I've been told by very rational sources on the internet that, you know, that I don't do socializing and have no friends and all of that sort of stuff, which, well, I find that pretty hilarious. Very amusing, especially since, well, you're on the appropriate channel. You are on the TLDR VG channel. If you want to go and check out the Dota 2 playlist of all of those videos of me playing video games with friends, well, you know, not saying that completely blows all of their bullshit out of the water, but it blows all of their bullshit out of the water. You know, what a fucking surprise. People rely on insult instead of actually addressing what's being said, and even their insults can be proved completely baseless by evidence available on the internet from months previously. Just, it's so very fun and amusing, isn't it, chat? Anyway, I'm gonna go to sleep. Fare thee all well until the next time.